So welcome everyone to today's webinar with OK Boocha. I'm Anna. I'm one of the campaign managers here at Birchal. And just before I introduce the triple threat of founders here, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land I'm beaming in from today. Birchal is based on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. Now, Birchal is working with OK Boocha on an upcoming crowdsource funding offer. What is crowdsource funding, you ask? You may actually know it as equity crowdfunding. It's a relatively new form of fundraising in Australia that allows startups and small businesses to raise capital from a large number of smaller or retail investors or wholesale or sophisticated investors through an online platform. That's us, Birchal. Now, instead of seeking funding from traditional sources such as banks or venture capitalists, companies can turn to the general public, often their communities, to raise money in exchange for shares or equity in their business. I promise the boring stuff's nearly over, then I can hand over to the team. Birchal Financial Services will be the licensed intermediary for the offer. The information and discussion in this webinar is for informational purposes and should not be considered as advice or a recommendation to invest. Please, as always, do your own research. Always consider the general CSF risk warning and offer document before investing. That's all available on birchal.com, which I dare say is how you found us here today, if not through the broad word of mouth I know is running around the sunny coast about this team and company. Little bit of quick admin on how today's session is going to run. The team is going to take us through a great presentation all about OK Boocha, where they've come from, what they're looking to do with their capital raise. We'll then switch to a Q&A session. Now, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a little Q&A bubble. If you have any questions during today's session, please pop it in that box as we go along, and we'll answer this during the time at the end. We are recording today's session, so if you do have to jump off early, I totally get it. We're all super busy. A recording will be sent around afterwards. So that is enough from me. That is not why you're here today. So I'd love to hand over to Scott, Sasha, and Alex, who are going to tell you all about OK Boocha and their journey to date and get you all as excited as I am. And if you haven't tried it already, I'm really sorry because the product is absolutely delicious. So you've got to get your hands on. Over to you, team.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Anna.
So, yeah, as I said, I'm Scotty, Sash, my wife, and Alex.
Hello.
We've got a little presentation we'll start with and get you through that. Just real quick, OK Boocha. The OK stands for Only Kindness, and that's a bit of our motto. It's kindness to your body and kindness to the planet. So, unfortunately, my slide wasn't working so good. So, Anna, can you flick through the next one, please? Oh, yeah, beautiful. So our mission, obviously, for as most of you guys have noticed when you've looked at our pitch document, is to become a national brand and continue to provide our growing customer base with delicious, healthy alternatives to soft drinks and the alcohol range as well. Yeah, we basically have quite a good presence on the Sunshine Coast in Southeast Queensland, but we really want to spread our legs and wings further afield and get our product out into a bit beyond. So I'll just keep it short and sweet with this little prezzo. I think a lot of you guys have got plenty of info on us already. So yeah, just a bit more detail of who we are, what we're doing, and where we're going. And as Anna said, our offer document will be coming out early next week, so you'll get more info then. Next slide, please. Our products. So yeah, we've got quite an extensive range of products. We've got our kombucha, our sparkling waters, as well as our sunny coast water. So yeah, I'll just have a quick chat about our products. We originally started as a zero waste business, so we didn't even have any canned products. We were in kegs only, and made refill stations throughout the coast. We did that for a couple of years, and then we decided we needed to get into the packaged product range in order to be competitive, and we can't only have so many fridges with kegs in so many places. So we made a packaged product. First one to come off the shelf was the kombucha, which is our flagship range. If you can flick through the Boocha, please, Anna. The next slide. Yep. So we got four kombuchas. Like I said, these are pretty much our most popular drink and what we started with. We use Australian native flavors, so we try and keep it a bit more fresh and cool. We got kakadu plum, lemon myrtle ginger, wild raspberry and strawberry, and finger lime or wild raspberry and apple, sorry, and finger lime strawberry. And yeah, the Boochas are great sellers. They do very well, and as I said, they pretty much are our flagship packaged product that we have that's out there. And our next one, Anna, is our flavored sparkling waters. So this has only just recently come out with this new packaging for these products. We felt that there was basically an opportunity. We were going to fill shelves with Boocha, and we saw other products on the shelf, and we thought we have 4 SKUs, as they call it, or 4 lines of kombucha. If we could have some other products out there, it would help us get a bit further reach and more shelf presence, and also create another drink for those that aren't necessarily kombucha drinkers. So we came up with a flavored sparkling waters. These are 0 sugar, so we wanted something that was obviously healthy. We're sticking along those lines. And also to complement our probiotics that are in our kombucha, we add a prebiotic to these sparkling waters. So in some ways, there's a new movement of nootropics or beneficial drinks.
Functional beverages.
Yeah, functional beverages. Yeah. So we wanted to jump on that bandwagon, let's call it. And so we brought out our own little range. They're pretty fresh, probably, I'd say 3 to 6 months since we've had these on.
Yeah.
And they are definitely gaining a bit of momentum. A lot of people are using them in the cocktail world as well. So your watermelon grapefruit goes great with the vodka, and mandarin rosemary so there's a lot of cocktail options as well as non-alc and healthy drinks. And next one, thanks Anna, is our Sunny Coast water. So this is we also saw an opportunity, I guess, where we were actually asked by one of our distributors if we could put some water in a can for them, because they had, where we're based up in Noosa, there's a fairly strong plastic-free initiative, and so they're trying to eliminate plastic water bottles, and a lot of the events and accommodations, functions, all sorts of things like that, they want to be seen to be a bit more environmentally friendly, and we thought, why not make water in a can? So we made a slightly different brand, Sunny Coast Water. We've got a mate who's got a spring down in Mount Biwa, and so we're using locally sourced water and created a plastic-free initiative by OK. So we've got a sparkling and a still range. This, as you guys might have seen in our pitch video, got us into a lot of new places. So we did Woodford Folk Festival last year. We've been, I've just been asked for next weekend, 10 boxes to go to another event. The event center down in Sunny Coast Stadium. So it's kind of created a different space. It was a bit of a tricky concept, and still is for some people, to get their head around water in a can. But I think they're starting to come to terms with the idea. It doesn't affect the taste in any way. It's, I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth in this. And again, this has probably only been, less than a year.
Yeah.
We were started just before Woodford was the first.
Most festivals now are plastic and glass free as well. So
that's right.
Great.
Yeah. And we found with a lot of the accommodation locally through our, or I should say, hospitality venues through our distributors, they were using, I probably won't say any brand names, but imported little green bottles of glass water from somewhere in Europe that looks like a boot. And that water is very popular, but if you imagine the carbon footprint of importing from Europe a glass bottle all the way to sunny Australia, so we just want to give them something local, something fresh, and plastic free.
Yeah.
So it was really an eco.
It's growing in momentum too.
It is definitely gaining momentum, and we started with not too many people jumping on board, and every single week we're getting more and more inquiries.
And they're coming to us, these ones, more than us seeking them. So becoming really popular.
So those are our products. Thanks, Anna. You can jump on the next slide, please. So we've got all up now 9 in our range. So 4 Boochas, 3 sparklings, and 2 waters. So a bit of packaging there, but we'll get onto packaging later.
Yeah.
So our team, obviously I'm the one doing all the talking at the moment. This is Scott. I'll introduce you to Sasha. She's my wife. So Sash, you can say hello. Will you tell them what you do in the business?
I'm the organizer, basically. Keep these 2 in line. No.
Yeah.
I do most of the admin. I do the bookkeeping. We do have an accountant for the bits that I can't handle, but just the general procurement, ordering, dealing with all of that sort of side of things, and I do some brewing as well and help in the factory, obviously. I was a secondary school teacher for a while there, so I'd like to get these into line.
Mother hen keeping us on track.
Yeah. And yourself, Alex?
Okay, so I guess I have a background in fermentation. It's sort of a core passion of mine. Kombucha became my newest one, so I sort of came to the business with a recipe, and that's where I thrive, really, and just being out and about and talking to people. So in sales, developing new products, and my partner Cynthia and I, we manage the social media and the marketing side. So make everything look pretty, basically.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a design element.
Definitely. And that
Yeah.
comes back to the title, which says it's a family business. So it truly is. So Alex is a family friend of ours from way back. Sasha's went to school with the family. And Alex's now wife, he got married last week. Used to be fiance. His wife does our graphic design for us. So she's done the logos and all our can design. And
she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's created an awesome brand for us.
Yeah.
Obviously Sasha and I are married, so we're family. My brother, he helps us with our marketing, does a lot of our videos and
Anchor Productions.
Yeah. They do a lot of our still shots as well for us, so pack shots and all that. And we don't really have any other employees. Really is only family. We get friends and family in to come help us out on canning days sometimes. And we really are quite a small, tight knit group. We don't have any other investors or any other we are the founders and the only employees, I guess you could say, at this stage.
Yeah, and we sort of outsource.
Where we have to, we outsource, contract to freight companies, and if we need help with things in the factory, we'll outsource where we can.
Yeah.
But that's the gist of who we are. And I'll flick on to the next one.
Scotty is the engineer and the factory manager as well.
He's
the
heartbeat behind it. Would all be.
I try and help make
a mess with
it happen.
Yeah.
We'll talk onto the money side of things, because I guess that's important as well. I guess I do have a background in business, and so I'm quite passionate about the business itself. So we've got three main sales streams that come in. We would say retail is one of them. So retail would be your IGAs, your supermarkets. We've got a group of health food shops. There's a couple of them. If you want to flick to the next slide, please, Anna, I'll show you. Those are some of our retail chains. So IGA is just in Southeast Queensland. We've got 11 season stores, 5 marketplace or HG. Whites have got 6 stores. We've got 4 others that are sort of smaller ones. And I think we just took on board Tin Can Bay and Rainbow Beach a couple of weeks ago. So I haven't actually added them to the mix. And then the other 3 there, your Flannery's, your Market Organics, and your Standard Market Company, they're more your health food, Whole Foods chains. I think there's 7 Flannery's and maybe 8 Market Organics. And 2 or 3 of the Standard Market Companies, 3 of them.
And then there are smaller independent ones as
well. There are a few independents. If you can go back to the last slide, Anna, I'll keep going. I just had to let you know about some of our retail. So retail, we also have in our RGAs, obviously, some of those refill stations that we mentioned before with the kegs. So we're going in there ourselves, servicing them, and we're bringing in our canned products as well as a range. Then we go to food services. So some of our distributors help us with some of that, and we service some of them ourselves as well. So food services are your bars, your restaurants, your shops, your cafes, your bakeries, your industry work snack bars. Anywhere that's got a fridge is we call food services, as well as your restaurants. So we've got quite a few restaurants that put us on the menu, and obviously a bit more of a price tag on the retail in the restaurants than you'd on the price, I should say. Then in your retail, your supermarkets are usually traditionally a little bit cheaper. And our third stream of sales would be wholesale. So I guess this is stuff we deal with directly ourselves. So your festivals, let's say Woodford want 400 boxes, or there's an event coming up, we load it up and take it out there ourselves. We deal with those guys, as well as our distributors that we wholesale to, that will push it on through to various other outlets. So yeah, we do a combination of our own deliveries, our distributors' deliveries, and people come pick up from us. So it's a bit of everything there. If you jump through the next lot, I can tell you about our distributors. So we've got 6 distributors at the moment. These guys, I'll start on the top left. Marcus Whole Foods were the first distributors we went to. They're a local family-owned Noosa distributor. They don't really have sales reps on the road as much, but they do have a really good presence in Sunshine Coast and probably more so the top end of Sunny Coast. So we've grown with them as they've taken on more and more food services type venues. So they service, I'd say, 60 to 70% of our top end of the coast customers.
They would.
We're on a good deal with them. They helped us grow. They always promote us, and great to work with a small family distribution as well as Prime Provisions. They're based down in Brizzy. They service a bit of a combination of retail and food services.
Mainly retail.
Gourmet, sort of
Gourmet retail,
food
organic.
services, yeah.
They are based in Brizzy. We'll go to, I'll talk about what else we got. First Choice. So First Choice, also a family-run little local business. He does the hinterland of the Sunshine Coast. Great guy. It's good to work with local people, so we try and jump on board with them. Fruitlink came on board with us in the early days to help us with IGAs and still do some of the more remote stuff that we can't get to. Further north, yeah.
Inland.
You'll be driving around.
Hamilton Island.
Yeah. we're on the Bruce Highway between Rockhampton and Mackay, and you pull into a Puma and there's a Kakadu Plum Boocha, and they were like, how did that get there? And Fruitlink sort of found these remote sort of spots for us.
Yeah.
And in the middle there, kind of a little bit hard to read, says food to make you smile. They're a small distributor down in Melbourne. Gourmet health food is her sort of reach. Does plant-based cheeses and so vegan sort of stuff, but
end sort of gourmet.
has jumped on board with us and done a pretty good job. She's probably been with us for a year. And found quite a few shops down there. Loves the brand. Met us up here on the coast, tried it, and said, I want to take this to Melbourne with me. So she's as far as we go. And the last one, which I'm just going to talk about, is Bidfood in the top right corner. So we've just joined Bidfood probably in the last 3 months on the sunny coast. And the exciting thing about them is that they have national reach where they can, whereas these other guys are individual distributors who just have one base and one warehouse, I should say. So Bidfood have already put us through, we've pushed a bit of product up to Bundaberg. We got an inquiry last week about Gold Coast. So that's basically from Mullumbimby up to the north or south end of Brisbane. They're interested
in Sydney now.
Yeah, they're interested in our product.
Yeah.
So with Bidfood, we've got to be kind of a little bit cautious. We don't want to go in there because they're quite a big beast in terms of in terms of there's a lot of reach. So we don't want to go too quickly with them. So we're just going to kind of creep our way down the eastern seaboard, saturate the Queensland market first, and then work our way south. Probably, I guess our next stop would be probably heading in towards Sydney.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've been great. They've brought on new customers. They have sales reps on the road, which is good for us. So we're just growing with them week on week as we start finding more customers. So those are our distributors. If you want to jump onto the next one, Anna, thank you. We'll talk a bit about some of our sales, because I guess that's what probably you investors are interested in, is the numbers as well. This is just the last 3 years, showing some of our growth. So when we first brought out our cans, we sold 37,000 cans. That was just after COVID, when things started to open up. Then last year, 2022, we got to about financial year 2022, I should say, we got to 64,000 cans. And this last financial year, just ending in July, we did 106,000. So you can see there is some significant growth as we've gone on from each of our, and we expect to see more growth in 2022 or 2024. So
it's definitely a trend.
Yeah, it's a trend, and we're heading in the right direction. So that's the plan. In saying that, we're focusing more now on these packaged products because we can actually push them further afield. If you want to skip on to your next one, that would be good. Thank you. Refill stations. So I mentioned before, cans are growing because we're moving on to moving away from refill stations, because they're a lot of work to get them out there. And we're focusing more of our effort where we can reach further afield. We've probably got, I say, close to 30 refill stations in Southeast Queensland.
They go well.
They do go well. The great thing about them is there's no packaging, so it is mostly all profit. Although there's a lot of work and going around having to take the empty kegs out, put fresh kegs in, and
My job.
yeah, that's what Alex's job. Goes to Brisbane. He got back yesterday from
Yeah.
Brisbane late night, refilling all the kegs.
That's good though.
They run on you need CO2 as well, so they can be problematic with when you have to run out of gas and the people
We're
don't
not
necessarily
looking
use
to
it.
expand those.
Yes, so we're going to focus less on the keg market and more on the
But
packaged
they're
product.
important though. They're sort of the core of what we're about, and people really respect that. Just the refill station.
They are, and it's where we
Just
started.
It is,
And it is great brand awareness for us, being in a supermarket with a big full refill station with a huge OK
it's
Boocha.
great real estate.
Yeah, it
in
is.
IGA.
It is.
It's a
So
real privilege to have it in there.
Definitely keep going with them. But won't.
yeah, we're not looking to get much bigger, but we'll definitely keep them running. So there are another income stream that comes through, but on a different way. So if you want to flick onto the next one, Anna. Yep, I just chucked this in there, a bit of a feel good for you guys. So we are quite involved in the community in terms of, like I said in the beginning, the only kindness side of things is we like to try and get involved and help out as much as we can. The two little kids on the left, there are some local skaters that came to me and said they loved our product. The one kid's 9, the other one's 12. They got some stickers and t-shirts and they go around to their skate comps and hand out kombuchas to everybody.
They're great skaters too. They're not. Just
They're
kids,
awesome.
they're-
Yeah, no.
they're
Yeah.
spectacular.
Really
At what
They
do.
post clips on our Insta for us and tag us.
Yeah.
The little fella on the right, Albie, he's in the Kulin Board Riders Club, so he's a local surfer. He grabs our gear and takes it to the board club meetings as well. So we support the Noosa board riders as well as the Kulin board riders, and just trying to push that whole idea. The kids love it, first of all, so it's a great. We don't have to really sell it to them, but the idea of making healthy drink choices as young kids. So the board riders used to obviously have Cokes, or sorry, I shouldn't say that. They used to have soft drinks and other types of very sugary beverages available for the kids, and they've really embraced it and they love it, and it's great publicity for us. And so we push that. We're also involved in the beach cleanups. So you can see Alex there with his bag of rubbish doing a cleanup. Yeah. We donate product to there, and any opportunity with charities or community involvements, community sportsing clubs, fundraisers, we really try and put our product out there because we don't really do any other advertising. And for us, the best advertising is having a can in someone's hand. They can taste it, realize how great it is, and share the love of the OK spirit.
It's the street cred that we've got.
Yeah,
it
is.
Fake. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of community involvement. If you want to go one more, use of funds. So this might be, I guess, when we raise our funds, I should say, what we plan on doing with funds that we raise through the campaign. So you can see Alex and Sasha in the background there coming from outside of the shed. That outside area, we're in the process of trying to enclose that and build in another 166 square meters of floor space. Behind them there is a cold room. It's one we hire, and you have to step over. It's like a shipping container, step into it and load in our boxes one at a time, hand by hand.
Lots of manual handling.
Yes, more manual handling than you'd believe. When you do 4,000 cans in a day and you've got to put them into boxes and stick them into the cold room.
Big job.
You get over it. So our intention is to get rid of that. We wouldn't have to hire it anymore, and we'll build ourselves a cold room, which we can get in with a forklift. And then we could finish packaging our product straight onto the pallets, lift it up.
Stock too.
It can expand.
Exactly. So it's all about expanding and allowing for more room for production. You can see some of our fermentation vessels there. They're 2,000 litre dairy tanks. We've got 8 of them in that room. We want to kind of keep that all for fermentation. Put some bright tanks out there where the cold room currently is, and have some sort of flow through our shed so you can get from the fermentation to the bright tanks and the chillers, from there to a canning line, from the canning line out into the cold room and ready to go out through dispatch. So on the left, you can also see some of our packaging there. This photo sort of shows a bit of everything. So packaging is quite an interesting one. The bigger you get, it seems it's an economy of scale. Things get actually cheaper. So when we first started out, our packaging was very expensive because of the minimum quantity orders you had to get. Even your boxes, if you get 3 pallets, it's almost half the price as if you get 1 pallet of boxes. So when we can buy our packaging in bulk, it brings down our costs per unit down and obviously makes things more profitable. With a number of SKUs, so we've got nine lines, there's a fair bit of packaging there that we need to deal with. So yeah, that will be one of the things we'll do, is be able to buy bulk packaging. And the other thing we'd want to do is, when we do go down to Sydney, say, and we have a bit of further reach into these markets, we want to put some representation down there. So whether it's us guys going down and seeing, knocking on doors and letting people taste our product, or someone who's locally involved in the hospitality industry down there can take our products and believe in it and go and kick some goals. We find it's one thing for the distributors to have the product, but they've got often thousands of products in their range. And so it's not really a massive push. Whereas if we can go down with our OK Boocha shirts and talk about it, or have someone who's representing us, we can actually get some traction, get in a few stores. And once we're in a couple of shops, it scales from there. People see it and they want more, and
They
escalates
taste it from there.
Yep, they taste it, and then we go from there. But we'll definitely need a bit of representation. So yeah, that's some of the
Maybe
use of the
mention,
funds.
so the other thing with our other drinks, the shelf stable ones, like the functional beverages and things, we get them made externally. So the other thing we do with the money is that is basically can grow infinitely, because it's not,
If we can't manage.
if we can't
Yeah.
manage it in-house, we can get that made externally. So yeah, we have no sort of limitations on plans of how far we want to take those drinks, and we have other recipes we want to implement moving forward with other great drinks to follow the trends of what are out there.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you're right, as a shelf stable product, it can be shipped internationally.
That's right.
We can send it anywhere. It doesn't have to
rely on
stay
a cold
cold.
room.
No.
yeah,
So this is another opportunity, both with the waters and the flavored sparkling waters.
the functional beverage is just going berserk, as you've
It's a-
probably seen. So
Great industry.
yeah,
All right. I think that might be us. Thanks for expressing your interest, and if any of you are still there and still listening to us, yeah, thanks for listening. And if you got any questions, I'm sure Anna can help.
thank you.
Thanks, team. Super interesting. I think it's abundantly clear that you've been very busy over the past couple of years, and really shows exactly why you've come to crowdsource funding to really help you on that journey as you're scaling the business. So I've got a couple of questions, but everyone else, please feel free to pop some questions in the box. We'll get to them shortly. My first question is actually to each of you. What's your proudest moment with OK Boocha over the years?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you go for it.
I actually had a moment this morning. I was at the New Monday markets with my new mother-in-law, a new Polish nana who I can't speak a word of English to. And we're walking along, we saw a food stall there with our cans there, never seen it before. And the Polish nana couldn't believe it. She said, "There's your drink." She couldn't say it in English, but I could tell what she thought. And for me, that's the proudest thing for me. Like, I'll take family out to dinner, or even in Brisbane and the Gold Coast, and I'll see it in shops we didn't know we had. And that's due to the work of our distributors. And it's just like a real proud moment. My kids out in the community, all of their friends are constantly saying, "Oh, your dad's business is just growing," and and it's the best tasting one out there. So I guess that community spirit behind it for me is the best thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
What about you, Sash?
For me, was by far walking through the Woodford Folk Festival last year and seeing our product in every one of the bars there and in a lot of the stalls, and that was a major highlight for me. I've been going to that festival since I was a teenager, when it used to be at Mullaney, and I felt really proud. It was probably the first time I felt so proud of what we've done to be there, and then seeing some of my favourite bands on stage drinking it because they'd found it at the festival. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Surreal, I bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, we didn't know they would be using it as riders behind the bar. And
Boy and Bear were drinking it.
Yeah,
Oh,
all these big
honestly,
headline acts up on the stage with our products. It was
Such
awesome.
a privilege.
We need some pics of them drinking it.
Oh, we
Nick.
do.
I'll find some.
Too far back
Yeah,
to the
we were
crowd.
dancing and there were too many people. It was tricky. Hard to zoom in.
Enjoying the moment. And you,
Yeah.
Scotty?
Mine's a bit different, actually. That little skater kid, the 9-year-old that we give product to, he came up to me and he sort of wanted to help me out in the shed with canning one day and stuff. And he really wanted to have a go. So he sat with me and he had a chat. He said, "You know what, Scotty?" He said, "When I'm at these skate comps and everything and I give these drinks to people, they all, I feel like I'm part of OK Boocha. And then when I crack open a can, every time I crack it open, it reminds me to be kind." And he really understood the whole only kindness. So he tries to be kind to others. And I thought, if you could make an impact on a little 9-year-old kid, it's quite a cool thing. So Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
it was weird, but cool.
Got goosebumps. That's really
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And
Yeah.
in making these healthy drinks choices, I guess, is what these kids are doing.
Yeah.
So they're being kind to their body, kind to each other, and
I-
yeah, kind to the planet.
Yeah, I think it shows the footprint you really made on your local area and the fact that people from Melbourne, are knocking on your door wanting to stock your product. It's a sign of, how many people really believe in you and your product. So very exciting. We've got a question here from someone who's actually asked, will this be taken online for direct sales?
Good question.
Yeah.
Because we've contemplated this.
Yeah.
We have been to I've even set up a post office Australia Post account for us. So we've done it before. We have sent some products to people. The problem, the sparkling waters, yes, we can send them.
The functional drinks.
The functional drinks. The Boocha in summertime will get warm.
It has to be refrigerated.
So it can go by cold freight. So the tricky part is whether the people are prepared to pay for the freight. So it's about 6.5 kilos for a box, which goes over the 5 kilo mark of your standard packages. So yeah, to package up a box and send it to, say, Melbourne will cost us close to $25 per box. So if someone wants to pay for that, we did have, and this is how I know all these facts, is we've had people who come on holiday in Noosa say, we love your product. Can you, my ginger lemon myrtle was my favorite. Can you send me a box to my house in ACT? And I'm like, well, we don't really have a distributor there, but
Yet.
no. But we could possibly package
They
it
won't
up.
need it sold soon.
Yeah.
They
And
need it sent soon.
yeah, he wrote me back. Here's my address. I'll put the money in your account. Said it's going to be $25 per box. So it's $50 freight he's paid. And he's happy for me to send him 2 boxes down. So plus the product. So if people are prepared to pay for the freight, yes, we can do it. It will have to go cold freight in summer, definitely. But I think there's opportunity. We just need to explore it a bit further, potentially. Yes.
Especially with the shelf stable stuff.
Yeah, shelf stable stuff's not a problem
Yeah,
as much.
that's a whole other market we want to tap
And
into.
in theoretically, if we get enough funds behind us to expand our brand, we'll have distributors in each state, and then it would be able to be shipped locally, which would be a whole lot cheaper than coming from our warehouse in Kulin. We do have a lot of diehards that come and pick it up from our shed,
Yeah.
and they'll come every month and get boxes of Boocha. But yeah, not a lot of. We could maybe ship 4 packs, but again, it's the freight is tricky. So
Yeah. I can categorically say if the Birchal office was on the sunny coast in Noosa, we'd be lining up at the door to be doing a click and collect order.
Yeah. We do get, I didn't actually mention it in our chains of groups, but we maybe within the wholesale, we've got a lot of corporates. So like you say, Birchal, I think there's a legal firm in Melbourne that pick it up off our distributor down there. Just for their drinks fridge. We've got 2 in the Sunshine Coast. We've got Ethical Brand Co. We've got
Tap.
3 and
We've got
Turbo,
Taps.
Steve, Nobby.
So we've got Taps in two pretty big corporate shops that are just for corporate businesses for their staff to drink in their lunchrooms, so to speak. And some stock it in their fridges. So it's sort of a different. It happened by default or not on purpose, but we've got corporate clients who give it to their staff and customers in their lunchroom. So diverse. Yeah, which is an interesting approach we never thought we'd have.
Love it. We might have to take this offline.
Yes, we can.
We've got a quick question here from Marlene. You've sort of touched on it, but I think it could be worth reiterating again, perhaps where it lies within your strategy. So although your focus is on cans at the moment, have you thought of selling kombucha on tap at markets, etc.? So I think you've outlined that, that's something that you're already doing, but if there's anything you'd like to add there.
Would we be selling it?
We
personally?
did.
Is that what you
Well, personally, we did go to the farmers market
we don't have time.
back in the day, and then we thought we need to be spending our weekends with our family and actually not Sunday morning at 4 a.m. setting up. But we do have customers who've taken our stock to sell on their stand. Yeah. So we've got we've got 2 different markets.
We had an inquiry 3 days ago.
Well, he picked it up stock
for Brisbane.
Oh yeah, one in south of Brisbane, and we've got one up the coast here. This is just within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
have
We
come up
found
to do
financially it's better for us to be a wholesaler than to spend our time at the markets.
Far better.
Yeah.
It's way more profitable.
Yeah. Well, like Alex said, at the Mundi markets, there was a stall there with our cans and things there. It's still getting the brand out there, but rather than actually standing there ourselves on a weekend,
So
we're better off. producing it and selling it.
And we have the stand that we built for the markets, which we use for events and things.
We do events.
So if there's a special
That's good
event that comes
promotion.
up that's really important for our brand awareness, we set it up. And so we are open to that sort of thing, just not the regular market. It just
We
it's
don't
not
have time.
feasible.
No.
It's not a good business.
in the
decision.
early
Yeah.
days, yes, when we were only on tap, but now that
Yeah.
we're better off spending our time making packaged products.
Mhm.
And people are welcome to buy kegs from us and sell them at the markets,
Which happens.
which does
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Brilliant. We've got another question here. Based on your plans for expanding the factory, what sort of timeline are you looking at for that?
Being built right now.
Footings
Yeah.
are in.
So the landlord's putting all the footings are in, the walls are going up. We've got, I think, another 3 weeks of construction going
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
and then we need to fit it all out.
It's
So
tilt slab.
we're ready to go.
So they've started pouring the slabs off site. It'll get craned in. We're coordinating the day we empty the cold room so that we can crane the cold room out so it doesn't get stuck in there.
Yeah.
And that'll be in the parking lot while we build a new cold room.
Yeah.
The degree of the expansion for us with the bright tanks and the cold room and everything will just depend on funding. So we'll if we don't get the funding, we'll just take it slowly. If we do, we'll be able to go a lot faster.
And
But
the other
yes,
thing
we
we've
have
got is-
done.
Sorry, Scott, we've got this like window of time before spring kicks in, and we're incredibly busy as soon as it warms up. So in winter, we've got time to go out, collect new shops, diversify, build the factory,
Do virtual campaign.
virtual
Yeah.
campaigns. As soon as September hits, it's a totally
Yeah.
different thing for us.
When the
So
sun comes out up here,
it's
people
full
really
on,
want to drink
And
Boocha.
this year it's going to be a lot more because we've accumulated a lot more shops in this quiet time. And so, yeah, we're basically working to have that done by
So
spring.
a short answer, yes, I'd say within 3 months of the expansion.
Yeah.
But we have committed to extend our lease and take on that extra space. It's just how
We
well
take on the space. It's just what we fit it out.
what we
with.
fit it out exactly.
Yeah.
So
This ties perfectly into our next question. Do you have any projections of what that means from your production capacity levels, and what that looks like as you grow?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So it's kind of interesting without telling you too many of our secrets. We brew in those big dairy tanks, so they're 2,000 liters, and we have 8 of those at the moment. So we could double that to probably 16 within that space.
If we can get all those cans
If
out
we
of that,
can
well, once we
create
get all those
more
cans
space.
out of that space,
Correct.
then we could buy another.
And the
8
way
of those cans.
we slow brew our product, so it takes almost a month to brew. So every time there's one in there, we can take that 2,000 liters. We then transfer it into our bright tanks. So we've got a mix and match of different size tanks. We can basically want to have 4 1,500 liter tanks where we can transfer one batch straight in for each flavor, and smash out almost each week up to 6,000 liters. If you want to talk about capacity, that would be a goal to get to that,
Yeah.
which would be close to 4 times where we're at the moment.
And we do have another option of how we can expand in there.
At this point in time, we've been brewing 4.
At
Yeah.
4.
We've got another 4 there that we can use.
But we have another way we can expand if we need to. Which we can do in that space if the demand is there.
Racking.
With
Yep.
racking, we can
Yeah.
go.
Awesome.
We go up instead of
We can go
around.
vertically instead of on the ground.
Yeah. So we got a
Awesome.
shelving
Space.
system, and
Yeah.
basically scale them down to more like 1,000 liter tanks, and then
And
you
they're
can
on a
stack them.
forklift.
So
That's
you
how
could
the
do
bigger kombucha companies. do
4 on
And
top
with
of
the
each other.
sparkling waters, we can
Yeah.
we are doing those in house at the moment. We have outsourced them in the past though, so we can outsource those again. When
Yep.
production
Yeah, and there's no
levels get
limit.
too high.
So how much we can make there.
The same with the water.
Yep. So
Yeah.
the water and the
Awesome.
sparkling can get made.
The
save
butcher
the
needs to be
space.
done in house because it's such the time frame for when it's actually ready, and then when it needs to be kegged and canned and everything is quite a short
Needs
period
our
of time.
love.
So it needs
Yeah.
our love and attention.
Yeah.
More so than the other products.
That's why it's
So that's why
amazing.
we always
Yeah.
have to keep doing that.
So
in-house.
the expansion is to accommodate the
The
kombucha,
butcher.
and the amount of love we give to it.
Yeah, we need more hearts.
Yeah.
I was going to say, which is evident, and you sound like you're speaking a different language, but it sounds like you're all over it. You know what
Yeah.
what you're
This sounds
doing.
ridiculous a little bit, but we're not allowed to
Yeah.
brew it when we're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Seriously?
okay.
Sash and I are
We
hippies.
have done
I think
that
we
in
pick
the
up on that.
past, and the whole batch has collapsed. And
Bad
so
juju.
you're in a bad
Yes.
mood, and you
Yeah.
have to get out and go home and brew
Love
another
it.
day.
I love
All
it.
about the magic of the kindness.
It really is magic.
The question
Oh, no,
as
it's
well
fine.
included.
Not the magic.
Sorry.
That's okay. The question also included, what does that mean on an ROI for the shareholders? And I'll just give a little bit of insight to everyone on the webinar, because this may be actually your first foray into crowdsource funding. So I really encourage you to, take into account all of the things you've learned on this webinar, all of the things that you'll learn in the offer document about past and previous history, the team strategies, and all of the information that they've shared with you today in deciding whether this is an investment for you. All of that information will be available in the offer document. So you'll have financial statements and all of that information you'll need to make that decision. I also really encourage you, if you've still got questions, please reach out to the team. They're more than happy to have a chat. As you can see, they are very passionate about what they do and know it like the back of their hand. So please do reach out. Also, make sure that you're reviewing the constitution and subscription agreement as well. Yes, the P&L statements will be provided. So those financial statements up until the previous financial year will all be included in the offer document. And again, if you've got any questions, reach out to the team. So someone's also asked, can we run through next steps in terms of the process where we're at, which is an excellent question. We're in the expression of interest phase at the moment. Now, that means we're gathering data. The team are having really amazing conversations with their potential investors, just like you. So if you'd love to have a chat, as we've said, please reach out. The team would love to chat with you. The offer will be going live next week. So that's when the offer document, constitution, and subscription agreement will be available. As I've said, all of those financial statements, et cetera, will be available in that document for you to review. And that's when you're able to make your investment. So it will open as an early access investment offer to the expression of interest list. So if you have not already expressed interest, please do so. You'll be first to find out when the offer goes live. And it's super important, get your investment in early. And as again, have any questions, do reach out to the team. We've got a little bit more time. So I think we've answered all of the questions. I have another one for the team. And I know it's like choosing your favorite child, but do you each have a favorite flavor within the range?
Yes. Yes, I'll start this one. My favorite flavor has been Kakadu plum. And I just think it tastes awesome. And we did a poll just recently on our Instagram because I wanted to get a bit of feedback. And it was the one that it was like the dark horse. In the beginning, it was left on the shelf. No one wanted it because no one knew what Kakadu plum would taste like. And now all the diehards, it's the go-to one. I think it won was like 50%. It was the highest. But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mine is ginger lemon myrtle by a long shot. We've been brewing and making this for quite a while now, and we taste these flavors every single week, and we work with it a lot, and it's one that I can still really enjoy.
The rest of them make you sick.
I'm a funny one because I just like them all, I really am. I'll drink any of them, so I don't. Maybe plum, if I was to lean on one side.
I think you've been swayed by all the others.
Funny, my wife doesn't like the plum either, but the boys are just, I don't know, there's something about it. My son loves it too.
Love it. I'm a Kakadu plum girl myself, so
Good.
There you go.
I'm a convert.
Go the Kakadu team.
If I can interject that, if I have a choice at this point in time, I'd rather go with the flavored sparkling waters than the Boocha. Just because I've drunk so much kombucha in my time. And I like just the zero, like just a hint of flavor, and just some bubbly water is pretty much a really nice, refreshing drink. So yeah, sparklings is my go.
Balance in all things.
Yes.
Love it. We've got a few more questions here. So Paul's asked, how long before I see a return on my investment? It's an excellent question. Now, obviously, in case you're new to equity crowdfunding, just a little bit of information about the type of asset class that this is. You are buying ordinary shares. Now, these are considered illiquid because they're not easily traded. So these obviously are early stage businesses. People, really invest in crowdsource funding because they believe in the business, what they're trying to do, and support, from that ground level of the organization. So there's lots of information on our website. But just really quickly, there are numerous possible circumstances that may create an opportunity for shareholders to exit the business. These include, but are not limited to, a trade purchase of the company, a listing on a registered stock exchange, a private equity investment in the company, or a share buyback. by the company. Also recommend, if you're interested in learning about the dividends, please consult the constitution, because obviously quite often startups and growing businesses will be really committed to reinvesting profits in the businesses. So as you're considering whether this is the right asset class for you, I really encourage you to take into account all of that information. And David's also asked, how much money are you hoping to raise? That's an excellent question, and that's exactly why we're in the expression of interest phase at the moment. So the team are really looking to the community and understanding, the interest in the raise at the moment. So all of the minimum and the maximum information will be released when the offer goes live next week. So I really encourage you, as I said before, if you've not already expressed interest, please jump on the Birchal platform, express interest. You'll be first to know when all of that information becomes available. Now we've got a little bit of time if anyone else wants to pop some more questions in, but I might leave the team with this question. What keeps you up at night?
Ooh.
Virtual offer documents.
Yeah.
Apart from the offer document.
All night last night.
Oh,
So many things.
So many
God,
things.
we have put blood, sweat, and tears into this business.
Yeah.
We love it. We all love it passionately. It varies week to week, I think, depending on what's going on.
Good answer.
But anything and everything, and we are very good at supporting each other, though.
Mm.
So
I think one of the things is, we put a lot of our own effort and money back into this. I think it was Paul, you said, asked about ROI. We put a lot of our own money in, and we don't want to draw profits because we want to help the business grow. And so it's kind of in that stage where let's keep pushing it up because we want to get it bigger and make it better, so that in the long term we can actually scale the business properly. So it's more, we also really want to get a return on investment, and we're motivated. We're motivated to do that ourselves. And we've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and we're at the point now where we want help, and we want people to join us in this journey.
Community,
and create a community to do this together, and get to that point.
Wonderful. Well, we've got no more questions. I'd love to thank you all for joining us today. Oh, hang on, we've got a quick one. Not a question, but well done, guys. Looking forward to reviewing the pack and the potential in investing in such an amazing product and positive brand.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your support.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of our
so
lovely
much.
customers who are jumping on this as well. It's been amazing to see all of your
It's very humbling.
your comments and hear. It's amazing.
We're stoked. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And speaking of, Kartik's asked, when do you think OK Boocha will hit the shelves in Sydney and Melbourne? Sounds like we've got some converts.
Well, it's already in Melbourne, so
as soon as we can, as soon as we possibly can.
It'll be very soon.
Yeah.
Kartik, if you reach out to the team, I'm sure they'll be able to point you in the right direction of some stockists.
I can give you our
in
distributor
Melbourne.
and some stockists down there as well. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'll let the team sign off. From Birchal, thank you so much for joining us. And if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to support@birchal.com if it's more, platform specific, if you're having any trouble, or if you'd love to chat to the team. They're absolutely really, really excited, which I'm sure you can all see, to chat with you all. And thanks again from us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks everyone.
thanks, team.
Bye.